What's up, guys? It's me. I'm back with another video, and it's time to rescore Monster Jam World Finals 5 Freestyle. Now, this year is infamous because it's the only time in World Finals history where the winner of Freestyle was in any way, shape, or form a tie. And in this case, it was a three-way tie. After this year, they would introduce tiebreaker rules, which would automatically have to get used the next year. But regardless, this is a pretty infamous year. Not just because of this, but because somebody got fucking robbed by the judges, in my opinion. And we're going to get into that. So, with that being said, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you don't miss out on future videos and streams. Check out the playlist down below for the first 4 episodes of this series. And let's get into this. So, in this World Finals Freestyle competition, El Toro Loco, Medusa, and Max D all tied for the lead with a 31. And funny enough, Bounty Hunter and Gravedigger tied for fourth with 30 points each. However, there's a driver who finished in the middle of the pack who, when you watch his run and you compare it to the ones that tied for the win, and you compare it to the two runs that tied for fourth, if you compare it to all 5 of the top 5 scoring freestyles in this run, arguably, this guy's run was better. And it's a shame that he got robbed IRL because if he was given a proper score and won, it would have changed the narrative of his whole freaking career, at least in some aspects. My point is, in real life, El Toro Loco, Medusa, and Max D tied for the freestyle win. But here, and new Monster Jam World Finals 5 Freestyle Champion, Neil Elliott and Hot Wheels. You heard that correctly. Neil Elliott and Hot Wheels. And literally the first indicator, go back and watch the broadcast. I'm sure you can find the run somewhere, although I have Monster Jam YouTube membership, so I can watch it through that. Scott Douglas was absolutely dumbfounded when Neil's score got revealed to be a 25. Let me read to you what Neil did in his run. And this is where, and you'll see as we compare it to the other ones that were higher than him, why he should have won. So, Neil Elliott, big air to start the run, with the first 2 hits, right? Continues with next couple of hits, stops briefly before continuing, keeps really good momentum and really good air. Gets great momentum and a great hit over the rock pile. Gets one more nice hit. Every hit he had was a big air hit. He managed the time well. He got through the clock. And yet the judges gave him a 6, 7, 6, and 6 for a 25. Now, this is not to discredit what the top 5 drivers did. But let me read each one. Bounty Hunter, who was right after Hot Wheels, right? Good start, good couple hits, stands the truck up in the air and turns mid-air before stopping from hitting the wall. Great air over the center jump, good donuts, good hits, finishes stuck in the large trailer obstacle. He got a 30 IRL. I gave him a 28. Comparatively, it's close, but I just like the big hits from Neil better than Bounty Hunter's run. You could make the argument Jimmy Crean had a little more variety, but you gotta love the big air. All right, Neil put on a show with the big air that he was able to hit. So then you look at El Toro Loco. Basically, you look at El Toro Loco, Medusa, Max D, Dennis Anderson, Gravedigger. The final 4 runs that make up the rest of the top 5. So El Toro Loco, solid start, but slow early momentum. I said this last video, and I said I was going to get to it here. If Lupe could just pick up the momentum early in the run, he would have scored better. Both years. But this year, though, he rips a donut, hits the motorhome remnant, fails to get over a camper, backs up, jumps through trailer, and past bounty hunter truck. So that when you describe El Toro Loco's run, literally the majority of it is kind of forgettable because he did a decent amount of driving around. He could not keep up high momentum up until the very end, where he jumps past the bounty hunter truck, which is stuck in the trailer, lands, rebounds out of the rear tires, and snaps the back end off, and he garners a 31. I gave him a 29. Don't get me wrong. The ending of the run was cool. The rest of it, not so much, in my opinion. Um, and then Medusa came right after. This would be her first World Finals title, and she would win racing the following year, right? Good first few hits, gets a small slab off the rock pile, landing, hits trailer with Bounty Hunter in it, rolls over, back on all fours while Bounty Hunter falls off, doesn't get much further with time left over. In my opinion, if Medusa was able to continue the run after making this hit, knocking Bounty Hunter over, rolling back over on all fours, I think she would have won outright. I absolutely do. But she didn't. She left time on the clock, and I had to bump her score down from a 31 to a 28. Then you have Max D. Good first couple hits, good donut, backs up, nails the camper, but he breaks the front end, stuffs the truck a couple times, smacks a couple of trucks, gets a small donut, drives wherever he can, creating carnage, and fills the clock. But that's not good enough for me. Don't get me wrong. If you can create carnage with a broken truck, that's fine. But literally all he did, once the truck was broke, was just stuff it everywhere. He wasn't really getting anywhere. So I bumped him down a point from a 31 to a 30. And then you have Dennis Anderson. And the funny thing is that after his run, he said into a live microphone he did not believe his run deserved a 30. Good first few hits, gets a slab off the bus stack, good early momentum being kept up, rips a good donut, hits the center truck from the backside, gets stuck on the sea container, falls off, flips over. Left time on the clock. That's the thing. It feels like this year, a good chunk of runs had time left on the clock and needed to get through that time and didn't. Neil was one of the ones who did. And the way I have it set, Hot Wheels is your World Finals Freestyle champion. And this is huge for Neil Elliott because, well, I'm sure we'll get a chance to look at his runs in Max D in future years in the freestyle competition. Winning here this early could have changed his whole career. And it changes the narrative around his career because Neil is known, arguably, as one of the best drivers to have never won a World Finals title. If you're making a top 10 list, he is top 3. He's a top 3 lock. Arguably a top 2 lock in that category. So it's just insane that he didn't get the due that he deserved this year. I I have Max D finishing second instead of Medusa. I have El Loco finishing third instead of Max D. Bounty Hunter stays in the 4th spot. I have Medusa finishing 5th. Digger 6th. King Crunch falls a spot to 7th. Blacksmith falls a spot to 8th. Really, from 8th up is where all the changes are. And then beyond that, there's not a whole lot, standings wise. But Neil Elliott gets himself a World Finals title. Dennis and Tom Mintz are now tied with 3 World Finals titles apiece. Because Dennis, I believe, won racing this year, if I'm not mistaken. His first racing title at that. So you absolutely love to see that for him. And Neil, he gets the world title that he absolutely deserved. So with that being said, thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts down below. Let me know how much you think this is a hot take, because it might be, but Neil deserved it. And I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.